I think we can all agree that Robert Plant was one of the greatest vocalists, or is and was one of the greatest vocalists of all times. I'm talking back in the Led Zeppelin days, particularly Custard Pie. We're going to listen to the isolated vocal track of that Custard Pie because somebody asked me about how to do the distortion of Custard Pie. And when I saw that comment, I was like, Custard Pie, distortion, And I'm like, I should know because I had to perform this. I was in a Led Zeppelin tribute band for about 10 years. And I know we performed this. Did I even do it justice with the distortion? So we're going to I'm going to subject you to listening to me. This is about 10 years ago, before I got fired. And if you want to know that story about me getting fired, I don't know why I'm smiling. It was a heartbreaking experience. But if you want to know about that, let me know in the comments below, and I will do a heartbreaking video about how I got fired from them. And yeah, anyway, let's get into this. Back in the heyday, Custard Pie. Let's see what I did. Did I do this any justice? And then we're going to listen to the isolated vocal track and see where I went wrong, what could I have done differently, and maybe we can figure out how to do the distortion that Robert Plant's doing, because he's doing some awesome distortion in this song. You're going, where am I? Yes, that's me. Looking at the lyrics. I'm like, I got to get these right. Yeah. Okay, hit a funky note there, right? But not doing too much distortion in there. Drop down, baby, let your daddy see, yeah. Not too much. They fool around all night long. I had a little bit in there, nothing, not like what he does, and we're gonna get into that. You're gonna be amazed. So on that, there was that. Well, I may look like I'm crazy. It was a bit more glottal than that I'm doing now. Well, I may look like I'm crazy. I think it was a little bit closer to that, but I think it was even better back then. Maybe. I mean, it wasn't as distorted, but I wasn't particularly trying to do distortion. I was trying to sound like Robert, but I wasn't going, okay, this is what I'm doing in my throat, like to try and make the sound like he was singing. So I was just like, number one was get the lyrics right and the cadence and everything like that. Try to make it sound like that. Try to make the sound as bright as Robert Plant, but distortion was like last on my list of trying to do things right. And if I was to do it differently, now we'll get into that a little bit more as we're listening to the original track. So that, see me come and let yo, man, I'll do. That sort of, it's kind of a glolly. Oh, you come and let yo. Like kind of that mechanism, right? And that's different than what Robert's doing on the original. But let's just go down to the end, right? I'll just go down to the very end, because that's where he's saying chew on a piece of your custard pie and then drop down. That, I think, in the original, there's a lot more distortion in that than the rest of the song. So I'm kind of going that glottal-ish. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. Like I said, back then I wasn't doing, I'm trying to mimic the distortion that I was doing then. And I wasn't really trying to do, like if I was just to sing like maybe the way I was singing back then. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. So kind of not necessarily trying to do distortion. It kind of comes out a little bit in the way that I would have been singing it maybe back then. Although it's hard, like this was 10 years ago. Like I learned a lot, but I lost my voice from COVID. And then in Hashimoto's, I had like all these vocal problems over the years. And it's like I've had to figure out how to retrain myself to sing while trying to be a professional singer and a professional vocal coach at the same time. But I was like, I got to get my voice back. This is like, this ain't happening. I'm not losing my career and my life. Like, this is my whole life. So from that, I created something called rapid vocal transformation. If you want to know about that, just make a comment down below, and I'll do some more information. I'll give you some more information down there below, or do another video about that. But on this, so if I'm just singing, like, do you want a piece of your custard pie? That's kind of coming out similar to that. Do you want a piece of your custard pie? Back then, I think it was kind of more of a that kind of distortion. Do you want a piece of your custard pie? I think that's where that kind of sound was coming from. But let's listen to the original and see if we can figure out what he's doing and maybe apply this to our voice. Drop down, baby, let's see. So that's more of a kind of, he's got a couple of things going on there, but that's more raspy than that. Then I was putting that kind of glottally distortion in there, which is kind of thicker and sounds more heavy than what he's doing. This is more of a raspy kind of a distortion. Drop down my way, mistreat me well. Mistreat me well. You know, that kind of, that rasp that's in there. It's not like, treat me, not too heavy like that. It's a light rasp, but there's something else he's doing as well, which I'm going to get into here. Mama love me. I fool around all night long. Well, I may look like I'm crazy. There's a little bit of vocal fry in there. Well, I may look like it's kind of hard when you get see, you can do vocal fry lower easier usually like that, but sometimes when you bring it up, I may look like I'm crazy. I may look like I'm crazy. See, the thing about vocal fry is that it requires very little air. So if you just do this like that, no air, like not no air. There's obviously some air moving the vocal folds, but not a lot. If you did that and tried to blow a lot of air, it's just like they blow apart, and they don't get that crackle. But the thing about false fold distortion, there's that. See, if you move a lot of air, you move a lot of air, and then the false folds will vibrate more. The fry requires a lot less air. What he's doing, I think, sounds to me like it's a little bit of a hybrid of the two, so requires amazing breath management. So if you don't know much about breath management, how to do it, it's very confusing. There's a link down below for my free course. Take that, and that will give you a better idea, a better understanding of how to use your support correctly and efficiently to sing and do these things, among many other things. But with your voice, this is very important. If you don't sing with good breath support, then the rest of your singing is not going to work as well. You could do everything right, and if your breath support isn't there, it won't be as good as it would if you have good breath support. Anyway, let's get back into this. Should I right or wrong? See me coming, throw your. See me coming, throw your. And see, there's that. It's not just see me coming, yo. It's crispy, it's light. See me coming through you. Oh, but you need more of a that crackly, that kind of fry sound in there, something thicker. Now do. Now do. Now do. If you try to do that all in fry. Now do. Now do. Now do. No. Man, I'll do. Man, I'll do. Oh, man, I'll do. Oh, man, I'll do. Oh, that's a little bit more like it. Sometimes it takes a lot of dialing in with the support to get the right amount of airflow. Like I said, this kind of being a bit of a hybrid, I'm trying not to use much air because of the fry, and then I'm trying to use a little bit more air to get, oh, man, oh, so it's a delicate balance. Ain't no stranger than this way before. Ain't no stranger than this way before. Oh, there's something else that I'm doing there. I'm just adding in there that helps this process all along. I'll get into that in a second because it's very important to singing in general. See me going, I throw you, man, I'll do. I throw you, man, I'll do. I mean, I throw you, man, I'll do. Oh, I throw you, man, I'll do. Oh, I throw you, man, I'll do. Kind of a little bit closer, but so the thing that I'm doing there with that's the start of, you can hear this tilt in the larynx. If I start with that, I'm like, it's kind of when people say like do this deep yawn, and that's helps stretch your vocal folds, because when you do this deep yawn, your larynx tilts, cricothyroid muscles kick in, and it stretches your vocal folds front to back. Like so, you know. There you go. Bonus ASMR noise for you. For you, man, I'll do. If you have this big space in the back as well, with the that kind of. For you, man, I'll do. For you, man, I'll do. It's kind of. It's tricky to dial in that sound, especially the difference from me singing live or singing like this is live. I'm moving around a bit more active. Here, just standing in front of the camera, I'm not as like physically active. Still, everything's working with the support, but I'm not like, kind of moving around and everything like the way I was in the video, the live video. I ain't no stranger. I ain't no stranger. See, that I pushed in a little bit too hard into that. It's a little bit too over distorted. He's kind of like, I ain't no stranger. I ain't no stranger. I ain't no stranger. That's a bit too clean. I ain't no stranger. I ain't no stranger. That's a little bit more like it. I've been this way before. I've been this way before. So something else that's really important to singing in general is getting everything out of the way to allow the vocal folds to vibrate properly, and having the air pass through the vocal folds and hit that's where the sound starts. I've been this way before. I've been this way before. I've been this way before. A little bit more like it, but I'm really trying to focus on that sound of the vocal folds vibrating. I've been this way before. sometimes can be helpful. What I'm doing there is you're like, what the hell are you doing? Trying to start with the clean sound. So a lot of people try to just launch into doing distortion, and that can cause a lot of problems, tension and strain and just singing incorrectly altogether. But if you start with the clean sound and then try to figure out how to dial in the distortion after, you're going to be a lot better off. I've been this way before. See, I've been this way before. You got a little bit more distortion in there. As long as the vocal folds are vibrating clean and bright, then you can add in distortion a little bit easier, and it's not going to be as damaging to your vocal folds or the rest of your body in general. I've been this way before. I've been this way before. So you can add, starting with that, that bright vocal fold closure. That's got to be the start of the sound, because otherwise you're just been this way before. You're just closing off like been this way before, putting too much strain and stress, and it just doesn't resonate as well. Put on your nightshirt and your. Put on your night. Put on your nightshirt and your. Put on your nightshirt. Yeah, let's see. Morning gown. Morning gown. Put on your nightshirt and your morning gown. See, I'm getting the sound is getting a bit too dull there because I'm trying to force distortion up there. Whereas if I go back to the vocal fold closure and then work from that, put on your nightshirt and your morning gown. Put on your nightshirt and your put on your nightshirt and your morning gown. That's a little bit better. To me, that sounds a little bit more flowy, a little bit brighter with that distortion added in there. Put on your nightshirt and your morning gown. And see, like it's very tempting to get too heavy with that. I mean, you can see, like, I'm just going too heavy. You know, you may have already said, like, it's going too heavy. This is not like, it's not death metal here. But you know by night I'm gonna. You know by night I'm gonna. They're trying to dial it back a little bit. You know by night I'm gonna. It's getting a little bit better. I mean, I think I'm now getting a little bit better at dialing in the two. I mean, like, I've never really thought about doing the distortion on this, but let's move to the end where he's kind of saying, chew on a piece of your custard pie. That, chew on a piece of your custard pie. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. And you're going to go like, oh, you cracked. That's terrible. But it's funny because I listened to this isolated vocal track just to make sure everything was cool with it, and then listen, he does crack on this part. Oh, it was like very similar to what I just did. There, okay, so I feel vindicated. Like, and they left that on the album. I mean, like, it's, you know, nowadays they'd be like, no, just take one of those others and cut and splice and just cut and paste, whatever. But yeah, so cracks are okay. Like he did, like Robert Plant did a crack. It's fine. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. Oh, there's that. See, I'm trying to get that tilt in there. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. Yeah, I think the blend is almost there, but, you know, getting it on tune is a different story. Chew on a piece of your custard pie. That's a little bit better. I'll accept that for now. Drop down Drop down. Drop down. Drop down. It kind of that comes from the chest region, chest feeling, chest resonance. Drop down. Drop down. Similar. Drop down. Drop down. Let's start there. Drop down. Drop down. Drop down. See, that breath is so key. Like sometimes, like I'm pushing too much breath. That's great for the false fold, but then it gets too down, drop down, too thin. Loses that. Drop down. Drop down. Drop down. Loses that beefiness of the fry, and that's not completely vocal fry. There is I'm using a little bit more of a false fold that's lower. Drop down! Drop down! That's a little better. Taking it down to drop down! Rather than up. Drop down! Drop down! Drop down! Wow, so there's a lot of yelling going on here, but I just wanted to like have a listen to what I did before, what was the difference, and see how I might have changed what I sang back then. Back then, a bit more glottally. I don't think it was terrible, but I think had I listened to this isolated vocal track, I might have been able to make it a bit more similar to the way he was doing it. But I don't think anybody really cared after I didn't, like there was applause after, so it was great. I mean, it was, but that was an incredible band. Incredible musicians. There's no hard feelings. Let me know in the comments below. Were you able to do any of that with your voice? What did you notice when you were doing it? Hopefully you were doing it along with me, because we don't learn by just watching. We have to learn by doing. So exploring and experimenting with our own voice so we know what we're doing is always the best way to get your voice to progress. So thanks for watching Rock Your Best Vocals, where your best keeps getting better. See you on the next one.